This week, you'll be working on a photo essay to show your knowledge of the thematic statement that John Steinbeck created in Of Mice and Men. So, the photo essay is different from a regular essay because you'll be selecting images that relate to the author's thematic statement. And I do want to be clear that these are not images from the movie, they're not images from the book. These are images that connect to the author's thematic statement. And I'll show you an example of that in just a little bit. You're going to provide evidence of how the author develops that thematic statement throughout the course of the text. And your evidence will be in the form of a quotation, and you should have a variety from the beginning, middle, and ending of the novel. And that means you'll be showing the development throughout the course of the text, not just from a single chapter or a single spot in the text. Your evidence does need to be cited with the page number from the PDF. These are not quotes that you find on the internet. These are quotes from your annotations that you've been working on in the last couple of weeks, quotes from the novel that we read as a class. You do need to explain how and why the images that you selected related to the thematic statement. Throughout this slideshare, you'll see that I've given you sentence stems to help guide your photo essay, but these are just templates to guide your thinking, and you really need to revise and rephrase the sentence stems to show advanced skills, to exceed the criteria, to earn a 4 on the rubric, to earn full credit on that particular category of the rubric. I've included some resources to help you as you work on your photo essay. I do have a model of what this will look like when you're done. I've also have a refresher on thematic statements, quote integration, and tips for elaboration. So I highly encourage you to use these resources as you work. This is an assessment, so it will be graded upon the quality of your work, not just for completion. The first thing you're going to do is choose one of the following thematic concepts to use for your thematic analysis of Mice and Men. These are the themes that you should have been annotating and highlighting throughout your reading of the novel. The corruption of the American dream, poverty and the exploitation of the lower class, friendship, responsibility for others, and sacrifice. And again, this is not a research assignment, so you should not use the internet to complete this. You should use your own analysis of the text. I'm definitely more interested in what you think and what you have to say about it. The first slide that you're actually going to work on is this slide here where you insert the thematic statement. So you're going to go to this list and you're going to choose one of these topics and then just ask yourself, what does the author believe about it? What message is John Beck trying to send about friendship or about sacrifice? It is one sentence, and that is the thematic statement. And again, I included the resource, a refresher on thematic statements for you if you need some help. Throughout the rest of the slides, you'll be proving that the author really does believe this thematic statement with evidence from the text. So you're going to insert a fully integrated quote from the text here, and you're going to cite it with the page number from the PDF. Then you're going to tell me how it illustrates the thematic statement, and that's your reasoning, your explanation. Then you're going to choose an image that's related to the thematic statement, possibly related to your evidence, but again, it's not from the book and it's not from the movie, but it's related to the thematic statement. And you're going to explain how the photo illuminates John Steinbeck's point and explain why you selected that image. So there are 4 of these, and they look exactly the same, so that's how you're showing me this theme develops throughout the course of the text. Finally, you're going to come to a so what. Why do we care about John Steinbeck's message? This is not going to have anything to do with Lenny or George or Curly or Candy, but how can we take this message and use it in our own lives today? So let me give you an example of what this would look like in your final version of your photo essay. I'm using Andy Weir's novel, The Martian. You might have seen the movie, but it's also a book. His thematic statement is that teamwork makes anything possible. So you can see this thematic statement is one sentence. The concept is teamwork. And I'm going to prove that Andy Weir believes that teamwork makes anything possible. I've then chosen evidence from the text. You can see a fully integrated quote in my response here. And by fully integrated, I mean that you include the speaker and the context, what's going on at the time. I've also included the page number. More importantly, you can see that I have a Lego version of Hogwarts Castle. This has nothing to do with The Martian, which is about an astronaut stranded on Mars. But the photo actually illuminates the author's message because each of these Lego pieces are just tiny bricks, but put together, aka teamwork, they can create something magical. In other words, Hogwarts. So once again, my photo is not from the Martian movie. It's not from the book. It doesn't have anything to do with the Martian other than the fact that it illuminates that teamwork makes anything possible. So that's just one example, but you guys are going to do that 4 times with evidence throughout the course of the text of Mice and Men. Then you're going to get to the so what, where we need to explain why we care about the author's message. In this case, ultimately, Weir's idea that teamwork makes anything possible applies to most areas of life, not just space travel. By allowing ourselves the help of others, we can achieve more than we ever thought possible. So you can see I did not mention the characters in the novel. I didn't mention specific scenes, but I'm really trying to take that next step and figure out why any of us would care about the thematic statement in the novel. In this case, The Martian, and for you guys, of Mice and Men. So let's go back and look at the rubric and see how this will be graded. You're getting 10 points for each category on the gradebook for an overall score of 60 that will go in the assessment category of the gradebook. Your thematic statement needs to be accurate and insightful. It's totally something that you got out of the book, but it does need to be accurate to what the author is trying to convey. Your images need to be chosen carefully and support the theme and evidence. If you're selecting stills from the movie or Google of Mice and Men and see what images pop up, those aren't exactly the images that I'm looking for. I'm looking for images that support the thematic statement, the bigger concept, not just what happened in the text. For evidence, you need to include strong evidence that really show me how the theme develops throughout the course of the novel. Then you need to fully integrate those pieces of evidence with speaker and context, and then you need to cite it with the page number. Your elaboration comes in 2 parts, where you're explaining how your quote proves the thematic statement. Elaboration is also how the images support the thematic statement. And then finally, the last category is your concluding statement, the so what. Again, not mentioning the characters or the scenes in the novel, but really taking that next step and figuring out why do we care about this thematic statement. So once again, it's 60 points overall that will go in the assessment category of the gradebook. And if you need any help, please join me in tutorial and I'm happy to work with you.